So how do we get to Carnegie Hall? Practice. How do we get to peace and joy? Is practice. And in unity, our practice is prayer and meditation. That is our fourth principle. That prayer and meditation are the tools that heighten our awareness of God. And what I just had this picture when you were singing that song. Without that practice of prayer and meditation, you probably don't know there's a boat, or that you're sailing in me, I'm sailing in you, and the me and you is God, and you're just kind of out on the shore, running around in the sand, wondering what's going on. Sometimes you run to the boat, you come back, you don't know the boat is for you because you're all over the place. So we have to practice. Spiritual practice. And that's what our philosophy of unity is built on. And if we are going to know, as I asked in that first opening meditation, do you remember who you are? You won't remember who you are unless you practice. And especially when the stuff hits the fan and you're running around on shore wondering if there's a boat or if there's a boat for you, or that the sea is God and that it holds up all things and is and through all things, because you haven't practiced. It's so important to engage in prayer and meditation. It's vitally important, depending on how you want to live. So if you want joy and peace and bliss and moments that just render you breathless, speechless, because you're feeling God move through you and as you, if you're going to have those moments, then prayer and meditation are the root, part of that route, that journey there. That's why I bring up meditation and prayer a lot. And it is. It's kind of against our human nature to sit in silence and to still yourself, because part of our human makeup is that we have a brain that thinks and calculates and analyzes all the time. That's how we survived all these millions of years, because we had thinking brains, calculating brains. Even when you're not aware of what your brain is doing, there are billions of things happening in your body and mind to keep you safe and to keep you alive, to warn you of predators, physical or not. Always telling you what you need to do, where you need to go in order to be safe. And so sitting in silence is almost unnatural for us, because you have to still that thing that's chattering. The monkey mind, we call it. I love going to the monkey cages at the zoo, because they're just all over the place, chittering all over the place. They're playing, they're jumping, they're leaping, they're messing around with each other, they're grooming each other. They seem to be in constant activity. And so are our brains. And so I've used this metaphor before, so sometimes our brains, there's a little monkey in there chittering around, all over the place. distracting you. You're thinking about one thing, and half a second later, you're on something else. You don't even know what this thought was over here. You walk from one room to another. You don't know why you're in the other room anymore.
And you had something in your hands a minute ago, but then you put it down, but it feels important?
Yeah, yeah. You want to look something up on your phone, and yet you're on your phone? You don't remember that you're on your phone? How many of us do that? I do that at least once a week. Yeah.
I feel personally cold out right now. Is it just me?
You put something on the stove and you walk away, and then you're like, what's burning? What's burning? Where's the smoke coming from? Totally unaware that you put something on the stove 10 minutes ago. Yeah, we're just all over the place, that monkey mind, stuff chittering all over the place. The shiny object, or the squirrel, and we're off someplace else. That's what we contend with on a regular basis. And so making ourselves sit and be in silence, let alone focus while we're in there, is a challenge. So it's okay. It's okay to acknowledge that it's normal and it's natural and that's how we're built. And yet we can live more focused lives, more relaxed lives, less stressful lives, more joyous lives, healthier lives, if we will still the mind. If we will still the mind. I've told you, it was hard for me. It was really hard for me to meditate in the beginning. And to just be with myself. And most of us don't want to be with ourselves, with our thoughts, with our feelings. I've had people literally say to me, I don't want to be quiet because I don't want to know what's in here. I don't want to sit down. I don't want to feel what I feel. I don't want to know. I don't want to confront the darkness I think is in my head. And yet if we don't, then all that stuff rules us. Rules us. The outside world, every thought, every feeling rules us. And that means life can be this. Roller coaster ride, dipping and turning and going up and down and making us sick, and sometimes it's all a thrill, and then we're white-knuckling it, and you're just going for the ride, and the roller coaster ride is there. And you're just riding. You're not the one commanding the ride. I've lived like that. I've lived like that. It's not fun. It's exhausting. Everything that I needed, I sought outside of myself to deal with my life. And all it did was make me crazier and more stressed. So this concept of meditation just was new, and yet it did give me freedom. The more I hung in there, the more I stuck with it, the more I just let it be what it is in the moment, the more I just made it a discipline and refused to get up no matter how crazy I felt in the silence. So that's our challenge. But really, the first question is, do you want to practice so that you can get to joy and peace? Do you want to? What I love about our philosophy, again, is that you can choose not to do any of this, and yet you are still love and light. But you're just living the crazy life. You can live the crazy life if you choose. That's the wonderful thing. We get to choose our life, our experience of life. Doesn't mean you're not love and light. It just means you're not feeling that. You're not in knowingness of that. You're not having an experience of that. And neither is anybody else in your life. What we radiate, we don't radiate in a vacuum. So the way you're showing up is the way we experience you. So how do you choose to live? Yeah, there's some days I don't want to meditate. I think I got better stuff to do, more important things to do. And yet if my priority is, as I say, that I seek first the kingdom of God, or whatever you want to call it, or that I truly want joy and peace in my life, I know that's one of the pathways. And so I make time, and I do it. Even if, as I'm doing it, I'm not particularly enjoying it, whatever the heck that means. Because sometimes it is a blissful, amazing experience. And I'm just in it, and I know I'm in it. I have this recognition of it. I'm just in the silence. My eyes are closed. I feel expansive. I feel safe. I feel protected. I have this undercurrent of joy. I know that whatever I'm feeling or thinking at the moment is all good, and that life is good. Because life is God. When I'm in that, man, there are just days I stay in it as long as I can, because I am thoroughly enjoying it, or resonating with it, or vibrating at a place where, you just think, oh my gosh, how much more wonderful can a moment be? And I need nothing outside of me. I'm just sitting here with me, all of me, and all of God. You need nothing outside of you. Nothing. And you can get to a place, be in a place where you actually know that in your bones that all is good and all is well. And you and God, you as God, are having this experience together, because now you're tuned in. Your radio frequency is on the right place. And you actually know, you can actually feel God in the moment. And yet some days we think we got something better to do. And yet we think we have something better to do. Unity prayer is something unique. Most of us grow up with prayer where we sit and we ask God for stuff. God, make it better. God, take this away. God, help me do. God, help me be. God, please, God, please, God, please, God, please. Begging and supplication. Make it okay. Give me what I need. Unity prayer is so different. Unity prayer is, I'm here as you, with you. Celebrating because you've given me all there is. All there is. Closer than my fingertips, closer than my breath. Like Michael Gott's song, nearer than air. Nearer than the air. And that as you're in that prayer, as you're in that space, you are acknowledging that that is your truth. That's unity prayer. You're not supplicating, you're appreciating all that is and all that you have, which is everything. Everything you could ever need or desire. Everything you could ever need or desire. And you appreciate that. You invoke that. That's what Jesus did before he performed any miracle, was to go into that space. I and the Father are one. And he knew that without equivocation, without doubt, without trying to figure it out, without trying to analyze whether or not God was in the moment or that he was as God in that moment for that particular thing. He didn't wonder whether or not it would work this time. He just called it in. I and the Father are one, very simply. That's our prayer. So we call it affirmative prayer. You can just take one and pass them around. If you'd like to keep that, or you can leave it in the seat back. So we call it affirmative prayer because we celebrate our awareness with God within us. First step, relax yourself, both physically and mentally, like we did at the beginning of service. Go into that space so that you can open up, so that you're not resisting anything. You're just open and receptive. Step 2, acknowledge the presence and power of God in the silence. God is here. God is me. I mean, unique expression of the divine. The presence and power of God are all there is. The all good is present in everything, through everything. Use the words that work for you. Step 3, allow yourself to gently release your error beliefs, which is easier to do once you've acknowledged the power and presence of God in your life and in the world. So we call them affirmations and denials. So you're denying anything that is out of alignment with truth. Whatever it is you're struggling with, you say, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough love, I don't have enough this, I don't have enough that. Then you can say it is not true, that is not reality, that there isn't enough love, or that there isn't enough to go around. And then you step into affirmations. Step number 4, stating the truth within yourself or out loud. It's okay to say it out loud. Oftentimes, I have to say things out loud so that I hear things. And I can feel that resonance from my throat. The throat is the power center when you speak things into existence. Whatever it is you're praying for, you speak from a place of power and appreciation that it is already happening right here, right now. Already happening right here and right now. And then with the last step, number 5, with a sense of joy and gratitude, give thanks that all is truly well. You give thanks for it before it ever appears in physical manifestation, because it is all done in pure potentiality, in the quantum realm, in the ethers, whatever you want to call it, in the stuff that surrounds us, the goo that we swim in, that we live and move and have our being in. We've been given everything. We're infinitely powerful spiritual beings. There's nothing you need because you have been given everything. And so you just acknowledge that that is who you are and that that's the nature of your existence. And you call it in. You call it in. You say it is so. And you expect that the universe, that God, the all good, is making it so, has made it so in the moment. And you celebrate it, and then you go out and live knowing that. Most of us are not used to that kind of prayer. It's a shift. It's a big shift. And it depends on how you want to live. If you want to live with something else having power over you, that's fine. If that's what you believe, if that's your understanding of God, do that. But this empowers you like nothing else. when you invoke the power of God that is you, that is functioning and expressing as you in all moments. And you get to call it in and call it forth and say it is so and give it power and then say thank you and celebrate it in the way that you celebrate your happiest moments. And expect it to show up. Know that it has shown up already. Affirmative prayer, a prayer that says yes to all things because you called it in. How exciting is that? To know that you have that kind of power and evoke it and watch it happen. Watch it happen. No matter what it is. No matter what it is. I love that Deborah stopped and said the word everything again. Everything, everything, everything. Everything is at our fingertips, nearer than the air, closer than our breath. That should light you on fire, that is possible, that we've been given that. We're not just out here flopping around trying to live life unless you want to, like I said. That's the kind of life you want to lead. Do that, and be happy with that. Don't begrudge it, because you chose it. You don't like it, choose something different. The power of choice, the power of power, the power of release. How wonderful is it that we can say, I'm experiencing this in my life and I'm done with that. Not doing that anymore. I'm not calling that in. That's not me. That's not my divine inheritance. And I'm through with that. Through with that. And know it is so. And then you can choose what comes next. If you're tired of that same old relationship showing up over and over and over again in a different partner, but you're recognizing that your first marriages happen again here in the third and fourth marriage, you get to choose that. You get to choose it. You get to choose more love. You get to choose real love, agape love, unconditional love. Life-affirming love. Tired of living on the edge? Kind of making it, not quite making it? White-knuckling it the last week of the month? Hoping you got enough to survive? If you're tired of that, you can throw all that out and say you want to live differently. But you have to show up. You got to say, this is what I is. You have to be in that knowingness that as a divine being, you are abundance itself. And call that in. And invoke it right away. Say out loud, I'm tired of surviving financially. Tired of just making it. So I'm calling in the abundant life. I am wealth itself. I'm choosing now the opulent life. And it's overflowing and it's infinite. We get to choose. We get to choose. Prayer and meditation, you got to spend the time if you want the joy and the peace. It's an investment in your soul, in your life. It's like putting money in the bank or wherever. that appreciates and appreciates. Prayer and meditation. Sometimes we walk around like those are the yokes that are on our necks, holding us down. My God, prayer, meditation. Here, I got to do it again. Oh gosh, I got to go meditate. I didn't do it yet. And yet it's the greatest gift we give ourselves. What are you whining about? I've whined about it, sure. And then I get in it, and I'm thankful for it. Because if I was really steeped in it and enjoying it, letting myself be in it, open to it, not resisting it anymore, then I got out of that meditation not feeling like I had something to whine about. The joy and the peace are starting to bubble up already. Starting to bubble up. It's a gift to ourselves. Prayer and meditation, prayer and meditation. Practice, practice, practice. And it becomes second nature. You'll run to it. If you stick to it, you'll start running forward to it. You'll meet a challenge and you know that you still yourself, that you relax and you go through those steps subconsciously. You know they're there and you get calm and you invoke that here you are, an infinitely powerful spiritual being, that you and the Father are one. And then you call in what it is you want. Now I have background music. How wonderful. I know. She's perfect. She won. See? She's manifesting already. In the midst of us. And then the music starts playing. I know, all in great timing. How wonderful. Give yourself these gifts, prayer and meditation. They're for you. They're absolutely for you. And they strengthen you and free you like nothing else. Like nothing else. But we have to train our human side. We have to train the brain, the mind, that something else is in charge. That something else has dominion over it. And get in line, do as I tell you, and all will be well. All is well. And all is good. So first principle, God is all there is. God is all there is. Second principle, that we are divine beings, that all there is moves in and through and as us. So principle 2 is that we are the divine. Number 3, that we can change our experience of life by changing our thoughts. Thoughts matter. Thoughts matter. That naturally segues into number 4, that prayer and meditation. Prayer and meditation are our tools that heighten the awareness of God. And it'll enable you to navigate through life with grace and ease. No matter what's in front of you. No matter what's in front of you. So let's take this into meditation. Speaking of which. So just let yourself be there. And if you haven't been meditating daily, that's okay. Don't kick yourself. Use your energy for something else. Decide in this moment what is truly important to you. Is it the kingdom of God? Is it your experience with the divine as the divine? Do you truly want joy and peace, and are you willing to practice, practice, practice? So are you willing to commit in this moment to a practice? And what might that look like? What needs to change in your life for you to commit to a practice of prayer and meditation? To deepen it if you're already in it. How do you need to shift priorities? What are you willing to do, to say yes to? What are you willing to give yourself in this moment? No one else has to know what it is. What are you willing to do for your body, mind, spirit, and heart? Are you willing, as Jesus did, to invoke the power that is yours, that is you? Or are you choosing something else without judgment? Choose in this moment what resonates with you. You get to choose. What would you love? What would you love? Tools are to be used and used and used again. The question is, will we pick them up and use them? Are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to shift gears? Are you willing to be who you truly are, an infinitely powerful spiritual being? With the power to command and manifest whatever is commanded, to tell the mountain to move and to watch it move. Are you willing to know that the mountain before you is not too steep? That you have more energy than you could imagine to climb it? Or to blast it out of your experience? I invite you to commit now to a practice that's meaningful to you. And to approach that practice with an openness, an enthusiasm, joyous expectancy for all the gifts that will overflow into your life as a result of that practice. More joy, more peace, more love. More compassion, more harmony. More than your two arms can hold. A life beyond your wildest imagination. Just breathe it in and relax. Relax, knowing that all is well, all is good. There's no pressure. There's no pressure. We have merely to open up, to get curious about how life can show up when we show up for ourselves. When we show up for life with a capital L, and then life with a capital L shows up for us. So let's take a deep breath. Inhale, exhale. As we inhale, we say yes and thank you. We exhale. Breathe it in, let it go, relax, celebrate. Celebrate. All is good. All is God. All is well. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.